Oh, I am not your father. Aren't you happy about that? Oh, okay. Kind of gotten kind of the old Darth Vader mood. It's like the last few days I've been on the dark side, so I thought I would verbally and visually express it, courtesy of the hat and the shades and, of course, the dark. You know, a few of us, we go through our lives and we look back on some of the things we did that we wish we had done, and some of the things that we wonder if we hadn't done them would be a bit better off. Or is it we're going under group pressure to maintain that herd mentality that is part of our society? And any society or tribe or family or religion, you know, when I was involved in a Christian church, being raised as a young boy and a teenager, the rules were always, this is what we do and this is what we don't do. This is a sin and this is not. Well, as I got older and I discovered that it wasn't quite the way that I wanted to live my life, you know, changes came, and you know, some of it, you know, I can see the logic in the not doing it. Like the religion that I was brought up in preached no smoking and drinking. Well, I didn't do really much of the smoking, but I sure did a lot of the drinking, and I mean a good 30 years worth at least. And I look back on that and thought, in a way, it was a good bit of advice not to do it. Because then I had to get away from it, and I had to do it the hard way. And where I come from in my country, we call it cold turkey. And being in Thailand, I didn't have a 12-step program to rely on to do it. It was either do it yourself or don't do it at all, because I'm not going to find an AA center or a support center in Thailand unless I go all the way into Bangkok, which is over 60 miles, over 60 to 70 miles round trip a day if I was going to go to a meeting, not to mention the time involved. So if I went locally, nobody hardly would speak any English, and I would be not really wanting me around. So I pretty well had to do it on my own. So I paid double indemnity, or double digits, or I paid what they call a little extra to come about and get off that thing. And what I'm trying to mention is we all have our regrets, and we also have our moments when we feel that we should be gratified for what we did. Maybe it was something was a good thing, because what I gave up made my life a little harder for a while I paid for what I did wrong to my body. My body wanted a few cents back, and like, okay, are you sorry yet? And finally, yes, I am. And of course, it did pretty well wean me off at, I think, the right time in my life, which is giving me a little more of a life which is without as many problems as I was having. Granted, I did live a lot longer than I planned on, which I'm very happy about, because I'm in good company. But, I still have little things. I'm still a 60-year-old man that feels like an 18-year-old kid at times. And I don't know about you, but we all have our sins. And we all have our little things that we want to do. Mine is gadgets. Gadgets and movies and visual stuff. But I have an addiction for gadgets. There's a gadget out there, I want to look at it. I want to hold it. I want to feel it. I want to have it. And it depends on the gadget. I have a few knives that are multifunctional. One of them is like a pinking shear for doing, bushes and things like that. Now, the only thing that would be good for me if I was going to use it is if I was a mobster and I was going to remove, digits from somebody if I was really pissed off. Or it might come in handy someday if aliens attack and I can put it in my bag. And I have another knife that has the Swiss type, has all the blades and stuff and all that in it, and the screwdrivers, acetylene torches, and, spanners, and all. But I love the digits, and also the photography end of it. The camera I'm using right now is one of my favorite type because it's made by a company, and it has a screen on the front, and of course the one on the back. But since I'm selfing myself here, being my own film director, and the Vader guys, or the Carl Vader guys, or the guy guys, whatever, is I can watch while I'm filming myself and have a halfway decent idea about what it's going to look like. But do you have gadgets? What do you do? I like gadgets. Oh, I also like, good food. Of course, yeah, I do. It kind of shows. But I try to figure out different ways now that I can cook that I can have kind of a taste that I like, and at the same time not as much of the calorie fat intake. And, that's such a mathematical thing. And, you're going, wow. And of course, I wanted something to be able to do that as I got older. Let's face it, cage fighting is out. I'm not going to be on a Doridodon, or whatever they call that, with the sud dogs and crap, and I'm not going to do cage wrestling or fighting, I think I mentioned that. The WWF, or whatever those guys are, Hulk Hogan and them, even as bad off as they are in their later years, that beat the crap out of me. And even Roddy Piper, bless his soul, R.I.P., he still has a leg up on me, and if we got together, he'd be able to take me on and still beat me. So, it's like, but the idea is what can I do as I get older that I can still do? As long as I have motor functions, and as long as I can, communicate and talk, and as long as I have... So, this is like another version of... therapy. Because when you get older, don't you realize that you're running out of things that you can do? And every day the window gets a little bit smaller, that envelope. Or, you want to do what you can. So look, if there's something you want to do out there, really recommend you do it if you can. Something within reason, and if you're sitting on big wads of money thinking that, I'm just going to save this forever, and when you're dead it all goes to maybe a bunch of lousy relatives that are going to squabble over it, or maybe if you have some worthless children, there are some of us that do have worthless children and some of us that don't. But, hey, something? Whether they were worthless or not, I wouldn't want everybody arguing over who gets what after I'm dead. I'd rather they remember not for what my pocketbook was and the inheritance. I'd rather they remember for me and my personality, whether they liked it or not. Because I'd rather be remembered as the person I am right now than what I was when they got the letter from the lawyer, or, things like that. And so think about that. Maybe you should go out there and think about, hey, why not just go ahead and buy the Winnebago? Or, hey, I still got money to go out and I'll spend a little extra on, why not? And let's face it, when we all get older, when all that money is still there, maybe it'll get zapped up by, say, there are still plenty of, I hate to say this, there are still people in the AMA that are working as doctors that will be more than happy to help you go through all your money before you die, and then you'll die. And there's always somebody always there in the wings saying, gee, Daddy, I'll get you some more tea. Yeah, okay. You think about that. Add that one up. I've been watching a lot of, Deadly Women reruns on YouTube. it's not that I'm pointing out at women, but there are also deadly guys. But hey, your kids kill you too. Like life kills you. Hey, crap falls out of the sky. They call it blue ice. Falls off an airplane at like 30 to 50,000 feet, and you're the poor schmuck standing there under it when it hits. Think about that. Whoa, anyway. Okay. All I want to say is, have a good day. And think about what you're going to do tomorrow. Ain't this corny? I'm loving it. Goodbye. Hey, may your drawers be with you, and may your unsoiled drawers be with you.